Hello and welcome back to First Degree Fandoms, where each week we explore a different fandom asking the question, are they a fan community or are they showing signs of a cult? So I am your host, Evie King.
I am your other host, Kiki Hughes, but as of today we have come as Taylor Swift eras. Evie, you've come as...
I am Red.
And I am 1989.
Not very enthusiastically though,
No.
And for the listening people, I'm wearing a striped shirt and some red glasses.
And I am wearing double denim and plaits.
Okay, so just in case we have any first-timers listening, we're going to explore what makes a fandom or a cult and the kind of, the different things that come into that.
Yeah, and why we're comparing the two. We just want to give a quick definition that we've worked on based on writing from Duffett and Hills. And as always, you can find all of our references in the description of the podcast. Duffett and Hills suggest that a fandom is a community of fans who engage with a shared interest and express their enthusiasm and devotion through various forms of participation, often characterized by their collective identities and social nature. Members of a fandom interact with each other in both celebratory and critical ways.
Exactly, and obviously this can also be seen as very similar to the definition of a cult. Cults are typically defined to be a social group with a set of beliefs, practices, or ideologies that are considered outside the mainstream and often revolve around a central figure to whom their followers demonstrate intense loyalty or devotion. They may engage in practices that foster groupthink, control over members, and manipulative tactics. So you can see how there could be some comparisons between the two. Although, disclaimer, we are not saying that this is true for all fandoms. We know this is very extreme. Some fandoms are extremely far from the serious dangers or hallmarks of an actual traditional cult. But we're here to separate the innocent from the cult-like.
Indeed, we are. So back to this week's episode, because I'm very excited about this one.
I'm very excited too. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, so we are talking about the fandom of Taylor Swift, and as they are culturally known as Swifties.
Swifties, yes.
Yeah. And we're not the only ones to notice this cult-like transformation or, want to investigate it as a cult. A Swiftie came out and wrote sort of saying that she's noticed this gradually becoming more and more cult-like, which is quite intriguing, that it's, her actual fans saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who doesn't know who Taylor Swift is, there may be some of you out there, she's an American singer-songwriter who originally rose to fame in 2006 as a country music star. But after her 2008 album Fearless, which contained worldwide hits such as Love Story, You Belong With Me, she quickly became a global superstar who now spans music genres and is one of the world's most influential and celebrated artists.
Mm-hmm. So her recent Eras tour broke records worldwide and grossed over $1 billion and completely took over the internet. Like, I think my feed on social media was constantly Eras tour. On one of our articles that we researched, it stated that during a concert, 49% of Swifties say sharing content online helps them feel more engaged with the performance, and 62% believe sharing content afterwards helps them relive the experience. So Taylor is very much so taking the internet by storm.
Yeah, and she in many ways is the perfect celebrity. And if we, as we usually do on this segment, we like to refer to Richard Dyer's star theory to sort of see how she falls into his definition as a star. So he talks about the manufacturing of the real and a star as a construction. So, Taylor is sort of boy crazy like her fans, but a billionaire. And she, loves baking, but also uses a private jet constantly.
Exactly.
And I think she really does nail this sort of emulation of I'm just like you. And I think has done that through transforming herself into so many different eras.
She really is a definition of the perfect celebrity. Just unattainable, but also relatable.
Yeah.
This episode of First Degree Fandoms is brought to you by Ticket Train, an app which helps you to see your favourite stars with the people that you love.
The ultimate fandom ticket buying platform, Ticket Train gives you early access to ticket releases and events of your choosing. Access to exclusive content from your fave celebrities and gives you the option to connect with other fans attending the same events through their open forums.
Okay, imagine this. You're rocking up to a concert with your newfound pals, thanks to Ticket Train, and you've colour coordinated your feather boas and you're about to see Harry Styles live in the flesh. It's amazing.
Amazing. What an amazing way to make memories and find new friends.
I will definitely be using this for our next concert.
Me too. Terms and conditions apply. All users have to be 16 and above to use the forum features on Ticket Train for user safety.
Okay, so to maybe get some answers to what causes the phenomena surrounding Taylor Swift, and to kind of delve into the question of, is her fandom a community or a cult? We're going to move into our interview section of today's podcast, bringing in our special guest.
And today, joining us, we have an actual real-life Swiftie.
In the flesh.
Jamie Drews. So, welcome, Jamie. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much for joining us today.
You look absolutely great.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys do too.
Thanks.
so
Can you kind of see what
Yeah,
we're
I
trying
can see
to
the
reference
inspo.
as?
Sunglasses.
If you were to guess which era we are, what would you say?
It'd say red and
Thank you.
1989. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Jamie, to start us off,
Mm-hmm.
why Taylor Swift and why are you such a big fan? Where did this all start? Let's go from the very beginning.
Well, I've loved her since I was like 8 years old. I remember I was in a cafe with my mum when I was a kid, and they were playing her on the radio, and I was like, oh my god, this is a crazy song, love it. And I've just loved her since. I don't know, I think her writing's amazing, the voice, the production, everything. I think she's just, she's the best. And because she's been releasing music like pretty much like for like 17, 18 years, like the whole time I've been like, you know, able to comprehend listening to music. I feel like I've like grown up alongside it, so it's been really nice. I feel like it was an instant obsession, but I'd say it's like grown.
It's grown with you.
Mm.
Yeah. And would you say, in terms of the Swifties in the fandom, would you say there's a divide between them? You know, sort of the hardcore fans versus the more casual fans. And what do you think sparks the most controversy and debate between the fans within the fandom?
I think there's like probably the same for like any artist, but you know, like the concept of, oh, you're not like worthy enough if you don't listen to like all the songs, if you don't know all the words and stuff. But I'd say like that is kind of psychotic slightly, because you can't really like measure how much you like something. It doesn't make you less of a fan, like not knowing all the words and stuff. But like, yeah, I'd say there definitely is one, especially when it came to like getting tickets for like the show. It was like,
Right.
you know, people felt like they deserved them more just because they were like a bigger fan or whatever. So yeah.
And is the thing that constitutes the bigger fan or a more dedicated fan knowing the words, or going to the concerts, or knowing her lore? Like, what do you think's the main?
I suppose it's like all of it. I feel like people
Right.
think it's like if you like, I don't know, if you know everything about her and then you know all of like these inside references, because I suppose because she's so big and like there's so many people that like her, if you go on like Twitter or Instagram or anything, or like, you know, like Stan Twitter, like that kind of like world, and like people kind of use it as like their entire hobby is like liking an artist. So they do know everything. They are like, it's in every part of their life. I feel like they start to bring in things of like, oh, you're a bigger fan if you have like the merch.
Right.
And like the bracelets and the t-shirts and stuff. I'd say like I don't know. I feel like that's a weird concept of like a bigger fan, just because you have all the stuff.
Definitely.
I bought them, but that's just because I wanted them.
Like, do you think, with that in mind, of sort of all over Stan Twitter, do you think there's like a performative aspect that qualifies you to be a more hardcore?
I'd say so. I think it's like it's weird. It's like if you're online, for sure, like I feel like it's like if you're posting stuff or like referencing stuff online, you are performing in a way, like you're trying to like just show off how much you like her. But like I don't know, I'd say like it depends. Like in person, I'd say no. Like I'd say I don't just like the music, but yeah. But yeah.
Do you ever feel like you feel the pressure to kind of keep up with Taylor Swift?
No, I'd say like I didn't feel the pressure. Like
Naturally, maybe.
yeah, like oh god, that feels like weird to say. I keep up with her online, but that's just because like I'm like always on my phone, which is probably its own separate issue. But like if I'm on social media and like I follow a bunch of things about her, like I don't know, like update accounts, which like as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, bloody hell, this is like so cringe. I see like all her info online, so it's not like I have to like really go searching for it. And because I'm so like interested, like it is weird. I can like acknowledge it is weird. Like if she's like announcing a new album, I feel like for any other artist, I'd just be like, oh, sick. But like she does it, and I do want like all the info, which is like, but that's like a personal thing. It's not like a pressure thing. I didn't feel like the pressure to prove that I know everything.
Do you think, it's a bit of a hard question as a fan, do you think Taylor Swift cares for her fans?
I'd say so. I think like the tour that she just went on, which is like the biggest tour like ever, I feel like that was that was definitely something, like it was clear she did it for the fans.
The Eras tours.
Yeah, I obviously she probably did do it for the money too, like, but I do think there was like an element of her doing it as like a celebration of her music and for the people that like her. I think she's also taken such a big step back from like the public eye, unless it's like specifically related to her music, like you don't really see her. And she doesn't post on social media or anything anymore, so I think that's her own way of like she still cares, but she's not putting her life on display. I think it's like there's like the musician Taylor Swift and there's the celebrity Taylor Swift, which are like two different things. So yeah.
Do you think the social media aspect has kind of been handed over to the fans then?
I'd say so. Like when she was on the tour, she wasn't like doing anything about the tour. Like she was posting, like saying it was happening, but like there weren't any interviews or anything like big about it. But every night of the tour there was like a fan website thing that was created, and I think it had like every night it was like 50,000 views, and sometimes it reached like up to like nearly 1 million, and it would be like someone live streaming the concert, because she'd change little bits every night, and it'd be so that fans in other countries or people who could like didn't get tickets could watch it. And I think that was kind of like definitely a community-based thing. It was like everyone jumping in to like support the fans that couldn't afford it and whatever. And like, yeah, like I felt like that was bringing everyone together, and that was kind of like a nice online presence. Same as like just posting about the songs. Like if you're just posting about like how much you like the music, that's like a really nice vibe. Like that's just like a nice conversation to be having about why you like something so much. But I think sometimes they do take over the social media side in quite like a bad way. If it's like she's seen with her boyfriend, and then there's like 50,000 photos of like her and her boyfriend, or like all this, there's like a lot of online speculation about like everything that happens. It's like the same for every celebrity, but like especially with her because she's so big at the moment. Also a lot of hatred towards like people that she's dated in the past, which is like insane, and that's like really picked up. I feel like the less she's online, the more people try and fill their time with something, and then that's when they're perceived as like, you know, weirdos.
Yeah. What would you say, hard one for you to pin down, but what would you say is your craziest experience as a Swiftie? Because from prior research, we know that you've been to a lot of her concerts, and we know that you were at the front at one of them.
Yeah, I was at one of them in August, and we got to the barrier, which is like, I feel like that's already a weird thing, because it's like we were queuing in like really hot weather outside Wembley Stadium from like 12 p.m. But some people were like there for way longer than us, and they'd like camped out in tents, and I was always like, that's kind of insane. When we got to the front, I'd say something that was quite a weird experience was the family that was stood next to us. It was an American family, and they had t-shirts saying how many of like the stops on the tour they had been to, and I think it was like 25 they had been to. It was like a mum, a dad and 2 daughters, but they didn't seem to know like any of the words to the music. And I was like, that's a really weird concept. And one of their kids was really young, like so young enough that she was being like carried the entire time, and she was sobbing through the entire thing because it was too loud, and they were like right near the speakers. She had like earmuffs on, like they clearly weren't helping, and I was like, that's like insane. I was like, you should so leave right now. Like that's like your kid's like crying, and like this doesn't seem to be fun for like anyone in the family. It was just like more of like a like just so they could add another thing to the t-shirt, and they had spent like 2,000 each on the ticket. Obviously the kids didn't pay, but as in like it was like so $6,000. No, $8,000, terrible maths. Just on this one like stop of the tour, because they'd like bought them on a resale website, and I was like, that's absolutely crazy. Just to be at the front and like prove something. But yeah, so that's a crazy experience.
Yeah, and not knowing the words as well.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, like shake it off, everyone knows it. Like, but yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so with the growth of social media, have you felt the pressure or like need to record and like document, and like when you've been to all of these concerts, like, you know, everyone's got their phones out. Are you feeling that kind of need to document that?
Yeah, I like when I went, I didn't actually film it that much because I quite like dancing and just enjoying it, and loads of other people weren't dancing. It was very like static crap, which is crazy for being at the front. I think that was like quite an insane vibe. So I know this is like also a separate note, but like it was like, you are here to have fun, like not film it. Like I don't like I was judging a little bit, but you know, it was like you spent all this money, like come and boogie. Like it's like supposed to be like your favorite artist. Obviously there is like a little bit of like you want to film it to document it, which is like something I don't know the whole like science or like the mental stuff behind that, which is kind of crazy because I didn't need to prove to anyone that I went to that. Like I've said to the people that I know that I went to the concert. But there were bits that I did want to film just for like my own, like, you know, memory bank, like being able to look back on the photos. There was one bit where when I was at the front and she like she was stood like right in front of me, like as in like where like Kiki is now from me, and my phone, like the storage on my phone was full like the second she got there. I was like filming her like walking up, and then it went like storage full. And I think I was like frantically like deleting every app on my phone, like everything I've ever downloaded to try and get the storage, and then she'd like pissed off to the other side of the stage before I could like start filming again. And that was like, I was actually quite annoyed in that moment. I was like I really wanted to film her, like right there, like she was like right in front of me. It's like my favourite artist, you know, it's like crazy. But like overall I didn't actually care. Like in the moments that I really wanted to just like be there for, I didn't film. And there were bits where I'd just be like, it was like terribly shaky videos, because I'd just be like filming it on the side, like not really looking, because I was like enjoying the concert, but I wanted the recording anyways.
Do you think that that experience is like the same for most people that were at the concert? Do you think majority of people were documenting it? I mean, people are obviously live streaming it, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's the entire thing.
I'd say
filming.
Documenting for sure. Like there were bits where it'd just be like an entire like sea of phones. But I that's like every concert ever as well that I've been to. Like I don't know, maybe I'd say post-COVID. I didn't really go to that many concerts before COVID, but like since then, I think everyone films it. It's kind of weird because like I was saying, I went to dance and enjoy it, but loads of people just didn't, like if you were like watching them, you kind of be like, you don't look like you're enjoying this. It was just like stood still with their phones, like barely mouthing the words and stuff, and I was just like, that's a really weird vibe to bring to a concert that was really expensive. I was just like, you spent all this money, like I was saying, like enjoy it. So I'd say overall that the main experience of everyone there, I'd say, was documenting and trying to keep it. I do think a lot of it was proving to everyone that you went sort of vibe. I think there was like a big thing over like the summer when she was in the UK where I think Harry Styles had like a similar thing, but it was more of like it was more of just a thing to be able to say that you went to that tour rather than going because you liked her, which is crazy. If it was like a £10 ticket, I'd be like, yeah, go to it, that's fun. But like it's like £200. I feel like that's a weird thing to go to just so you can post it on Instagram and say that you went.
Would you say that the Taylor Swift fandom and the Swifties kind of thrive, like after you saying about sort of a lot of people not really like engaging in the moment, would you say that a lot of it kind of exists in these like Twitter forums and Reddit forums, and you know, in a more sort of analytical capacity of like analysing and deciphering her life as opposed to the concert in the moment?
I'd say so. I think that's like the really negative side of it, like which I feel like I've also like fallen into, like as in like watching all of that unfold online and like the news about like I don't know, like her relationships or she's bought a new house, she's got a new cat, like all of that stuff, like which is interesting like in its own way, but I do think a lot of it does exist in these like online spaces, which is definitely like as like Twitter. I mean Twitter's always been popular, but I feel like as Stan Twitter became popular, it was like a place to just like air out your thoughts and kind of like hate a bunch of people online. Like it is like a lot of it does seem just like aimless cyberbullying. Like it is people going on to be like, I hate like this person, like I don't know, hating another artist, like just because of her, which is a bit like comparing them, like two women can release music and it doesn't mean that like one of them's like an absolute like witch for it. Like they like they really like every time Lady Gaga's on like anything, like she's like getting like death threats from like Taylor Swift fans. But I feel like that's like people that don't actually have like real life hobbies. I don't know, like I feel like that's like a really weird concept to do, is I can like listen to the music and clock out like the music's my favourite thing about her. The other stuff is just stuff that I'm vaguely interested in as like a byproduct of that, whereas I think for some people it's like they like her, like the celebrity, not the actual music. Because they'll post things being like, oh, this whole album was like absolute shit, and I'm like, if you don't like her music, you don't like why do you care about her? Like I don't know, like I don't like, I'm trying to think of an artist that I don't like. I don't like Kanye West. And I don't listen to his music, and like, but I also am then not like posting about him online.
I guess it's interesting what you said about the hobbies. It becomes a hobby for people who don't necessarily have hobbies, and that maybe would explain the sort of competitive nature that they then enact surrounding other female artists. You know, it's like maybe a way, an outlet to express competitiveness.
Yeah, I think it like really is. I think it's like this weird like especially the sports thing. I think it is like people really take it as like cheering on their person, which means like I don't know, just because I don't really know football, I didn't know I was going to give that much. Probably if you like Arsenal, can you like West Ham? I don't know, and that vibe. Yeah, I think there's like a massive thing of like them making it like their personalities. I mean, I definitely made it part of my personality, but, like. But as in like the comparisons and stuff, I think that's just like a really, really bonkers vibe, yeah.
So, to wrap up the interview, it's time to choose where the Swifties go on our fandom scale. So for first-time listeners, our scale categories are innocent fan community, enthusiastic, obsessive, and then our final category, cult-like, which we actually haven't had a fandom be put in the cult-like category yet. Let's see if that's the case after this one. Okay, so number 1.
Loyalty and devotion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got to place them in the category of A, B, C, or D. So, A, fans show casual admiration without obsession. B, fans are dedicated but keep a balance with other interests. C, fans invest deeply and regularly engage with the fandom. D, fans are fanatical and prioritise the fandom over other areas of life.
I'd say D. I feel like...
D, really?
Yeah, like definitely D. Yeah.
Going in strong with the D. Number 2, community versus isolation. So A, the fandom is open to different opinions and diverse members. B, fans are close-knit but still accept differing views. C, the fandom becomes more exclusive with shared rituals and codes. D, the fandom is insular and isolates itself from outsiders.
I'd say C, like the rituals feels quite spooky, but like it's definitely a thing. Like between B and C, there was a bit you said in B that I think really relates to...
Fans are close-knit but still accepting of differing views.
Yeah, there's also a big political side of it as well, vaguely, like in terms of like in like 2020 she was like posting a lot politically, and that kind of I don't know, I think that was quite kind of like a nice way, but like open like a new conversation in this like kind of weird small community that exists like separate from like anything else, like weirdly. So I'd say like B and C, like there's like conversations happening inside of
Brilliant.
it. Yeah.
Okay, nice and mild. So next up we have celebrity power and impact. So A, the celebrity has minimal influence, mostly offering entertainment. B, the celebrity influences fans' tastes and ideas, but not deeply. C, the celebrity's opinions shapes fans' behaviour or personal choices. And then D, the celebrity controls fans' beliefs, behaviours, and is seen as infallible.
I'd say C and D. Like I don't think she leans into it. Like I don't think Taylor Swift is like purposefully like puppet mastering the world. But I'd say like some people would take what she says as like gospel and like defend anything that she did like ever.
Okay, so if we're correct, I think we've landed in mostly C's and D's.
Mostly C's and D's.
So
for the first time on the podcast, we might have a cult-like fandom, but mostly C's and D's. So we're on the tipping point. We're on the edge. So mostly C's, obsessive fandom. This is for C's. Deep devotion with some social pressure and exclusivity. Mostly D's, cult-like fandom, strong control, extreme loyalty, and limited independent thought. Yeah, I do think it is one of those bits. I mean, talking to Jamie today, you're definitely not in the D's category.
Thank you.
You're very self-aware of your place in the fandom.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for coming in.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. Wow, that was very insightful from Jamie there. We learnt a lot.
Really interesting. And he is a very kind of brilliant Swiftie, because he can explain so much of her lore and so much of what's gone on. And to his credit, in a very kind of moderate way. I don't feel that he's trying to make us Swifties.
Exactly. I didn't feel judged at all for my awful outfit.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No. So thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to tune in next week for our next episode on
Potterheads. I'm very excited about this one.
Yes.
This is a little bit of me,
it's
as you know.
One.
Yeah, it's a bit of a personal one, and I think we will be taking the dressing up to the next level.
We have a real life Potterhead in the flesh with us, so
if you haven't
have to
guessed,
try your best to remain unbiased.
Yes, I need to get a wig cap so I can become Voldemort.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of First Degree Fandoms.
See you next week.